All right, today we're going to be doing some Ninja Gold. This is a big crowd favorite. People love this assignment, or some people love this assignment. So I've got the criteria up here on screen for us, and maybe what I'll do, we'll just kind of glance over it in the beginning so that we're clear on what we're doing. All right, so we're creating a simple game that will test our understanding of Flask, and we have some basic functions that we need to have here. So the root route is going to display this here. Okay, just a basic little HTML page where we've got some different boxes going across the page with different forms. And then if we scroll down here, notice that we should only have two routes for this assignment. So we have a / route. This is just our index route. And then we have a process money route, which is going to process these different form submissions right there. Okay, and then if we keep scrolling down a little bit more, notice how they've kind of given us the template of how this whole functionality is going to work. So the flow of this is that when we first get to the app, we're going to get to the index route. We'll see all these forms, of course. And then we can click one of these buttons in one of the locations. So if I go to the cave, I can click that button, and then we'll end up going to this process money route. And then what's going to happen is after we've done our processing, so we've made a change to whatever gold that current game player has, then we're just going to redirect them right back to the main page. Okay? So the flow is pretty straightforward. We only have two views. And then if I scroll down a little bit more, you can see that ultimately we're going to have this set of activities down here. This is just a log of what has happened thus far in the game. And then if you guys get so inclined, there would be, there are definitely some bonus features, ninja bonuses, sensei bonuses. If you're but I don't want you guys to get too bogged down in this. The main stuff is just, implementing the basic functionality. Okay? All right, so let's get started on this. I've got a little folder set up for us to go. Actually, I'm in the wrong folder. Let me go here, Ninja Gold. All right, I'm going to open up a terminal. What's the first thing I want to do when I'm going to start a new Flask project or a Django project? It's the first thing I got to do every time. Before I do that, even.
Create a Python or a folder.
I've done that.
So
No.
server.
No.
Python.
You guys are just blurting stuff out here.
Oh yes. Virtual environment.
Ah, okay. Let's get virtual here. All right, good. So let's say source. Let me make this bigger for you guys. Maybe one more. Okay, cool. So we'll go source and then up a couple levels into my environments. And then again, I've got this Flask environment that I'm going to use. Okay, so my environment's activated, so that's nice. Let's create some files that we need. So the main thing I'm going to need is going to be what? What's my main server file going to be? Okay, good. So I'll just say touch server.py. Okay, and then if I see over here in my sidebar, that's been created for me, so that's nice. Come in here. What am I going to import up here? Flask. So we'll say from Flask, I'm going to import the Flask class. And then what are some of the standard things that we've been needing here?
Redirect.
We need render template. We need redirect. Okay.
Session.
Yeah, we need request, and then we need session. That's correct. Good. Excellent. All right. Now, what do I need to do once I've imported that here? Yeah, let's create an application. Good. And then, what do I need to pass when I'm creating a new instance of the Flask class? What do I need to pass it?
Dunder name.
Okay, so dunder name. Very good. And then let's set up a basic index route, all right? Because we're definitely going to need that. So we'll say at app.route / and then we'll just call this index. Okay, and what do we want to do in index for now?
Just return render template.
Let's just render out a template and make sure it works. Good call.
Have we created our template yet?
Nope. So we'll have to get to that, right? And we'll do that after we just finish writing this here. So we'll just say we're going to render index.html. And then let's create over here, we need what kind of folder? Templates folder. And then inside that, let's just create an index.html. Good.
We also should put our app.run at the bottom of our Python file, shouldn't we?
That's right. Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet. So I was sort of taking a pit stop to just create this index.html for us. So we'll say ninja gold. Ooh, I'll do a little h1. Welcome to Ninja Gold. Okay, so we've got our basic template. Now we can come back here. As Ryan was saying, we also need to run the application. This is super important. So down here, I can ask this question here. If this file is being run directly, so if name equals main, excuse me, then that means that it's being run directly. And I can do my app.run. So we'll do app.run, debug equals true, and that's pretty much all we need, right? We should be able to get something on screen now and get started.
It would still run with the double under name thing, right? Well, I'm kind of confused of what that part's needed.
Sure, yeah, and this is sort of a good point. In terms of the apps that you guys are doing, this is not really critical. However, let's say this whole thing was being imported by some other file. In that case, what would name actually return us?
That other file, whatever that other file is.
No. No, inside here, name would actually return the name of our file. Can't remember if it's server.py or if it's server, but it would be the name of the file. It wouldn't be main.
Okay.
It's only going to be main if we're running it directly. Okay, so if it's being imported by something else, then it won't be main. Okay. All right, so we're good to go. Let's get this thing started. So we'll say Python server.py. Okay, so we're running, and then if I open up localhost 5000, then I should have that. 5000. Okay, welcome to Ninja Gold. Party time. All right. Let's get over here. Let's just create some basic HTML so that we have something that kind of looks like what we want. So we've got this thing at the top saying you're gold. And we'll just say it's 0 for now. So I've got p tag, your gold, and then I'll just create a little span tag. Whoops, that didn't seem to work. There we go. Okay, and then your gold for now is just going to be 0. Obviously, later on, we're going to change this. And let's just create some styling on this. So we'll just say the class, gold class. And then if I want to create if I want to have like a CSS sheet here, how do I do that?
Either import Bootstrap or just do the style sheet, non-style sheet at the top.
Yeah, so let's just create. So Ryan is right. There are a couple different ways we could do it. We could either write some styles directly here in the head, or we can create a separate style sheet. I think I'll opt for that, just so that we kind of practice loading up static files on our website. So let's create a static folder. And inside that, I might have some subfolders too. So I may have a CSS subfolder where I'm going to keep all my style sheets or something like that. And then I might also have another folder where I'm keeping my images. All right. And inside the CSS subfolder, let's just create a style.css. And then let's create a little class for the gold. So my gold, I want it to be, what's the normal display property of a span element? You guys know? Typically inline, right? But if I want to give it some upper and bottom margins, I need to turn that into an inline block, right? All right, so let's just change the display property. Inline block, and then we'll just give it a border so that we can kind of see it. So one pixel solid, say light gray. Margin, let's say, I don't know, 15 pixels, and then,
I think that's a semicolon.
yeah, it sure is. My editor was letting me know as well. Okay, so there it is. We've got a basic class. Now let's actually load this into our template, right? You guys remember how we load a static file in our template?
Length.
So we're going to do length, that's correct. And then our href, how are we going to output this guy? Double mustache, which means what?
Just like
Pulling from another
It's not what the double the double mustache means.
output.
Yeah, it means we're outputting something to the actual template. Okay? All right. So let's do double mustache, and then what do we want to have inside here? So we have this special function that Flask gives us, URL4. Okay?
static.
And the URL4 is going to be for static. And then we also want to provide it a file name, right? Whoops. File name equals. And then the name of this file, let's be careful here. It's not just going to be style.css. What do I need to put? CSS, because yeah, we're starting from this subfolder here. So I need to say CSS/style.css. All right. Good. Style.css. Let's save that. And
We don't need to put like type equals text or the second like link type href or something.
well, so I have two attributes here. I've got it's a style sheet in the rel, and then I've got my href over here.
That's all we need.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, but I know what you're talking about. The type equals text/CSS, right?
Yeah.
Not strictly necessary, but there's nothing.
JavaScript. When we make a JavaScript file, also we don't need that. We don't need like type/JavaScript.
I think that would just be
No. Yeah, completely unnecessary. You could just do script, and you'll be fine. All right, so we're kind of getting our styling. You guys, maybe you can't see this. I'm gonna make it black. I don't know what the deal is with that.
There's nothing there.
Yeah, it's like it didn't even happen. All right, so let's change that to black. And then also I'm going to add some padding. So actually I did it with margin. I think I meant to do it as padding. Let's just do that. Okay, I'm going to do a hard refresh because Chrome doesn't seem to be respecting that. Okay. Whoa. That's monstrous.
See that?
Yeah, that we got ourselves something. All right, let me just change this to 10 and 15. Let's not worry too much about the styling. Oh, jeez, I keep having a hard refresh. All right, so that's something. So the other thing that we need to do is we also want to have these boxes here, right, with our different forms. I'm not going to make all the boxes for you because, you know.
It's for us to do.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to do your assignment for you completely, but let's do the farm and then let's do the casino. All right. So each box is going to have sort of a title, and then it's going to have. This always cracks me up. Earns 10 to 20 golds. Would anyone say it like that?
No.
Right. No. Okay, but so 10 to 20 on the farm, and the casino is interesting because the casino we can either earn 0 to 50 or we can lose 0 to 50 as well. So it's kind of like, hey, we're gambling now, right? So let's create two of these boxes, and on our HTML page, let's go down here underneath where we've got gold, and I'm just going to create a form, and then inside that, actually, because I'm going to do this twice, so I'm going to create a little group here. I'm going to create a form. Inside that, I'm going to have an H3. What else am I going to have? Maybe a P tag, which says how much we're earning. And then I'm going to have input times 2. Does anyone know why I'm creating 2 inputs? Has anyone done this assignment yet?
Yeah.
Yes, right. Okay, why am I creating 2 inputs here?
You have one hidden and one button.
Yeah, one's going to be hidden, one's going to be a button. I may actually change that to a button instead of an input. But anyway, so you've got the 2 inputs, and then that's pretty much all we need, right? I can do this twice. All right, you guys see what we have here?
What exactly is the hidden?
What is going on here? Oh, the hidden input? Yeah, we'll talk about that too.
So is this just a shortcut to?
This is a shortcut, yeah. So I'm saying, okay, I'm creating this big group here. I want this group to repeat twice. And then inside that group, I've got a form. And then inside the form, I've got an H3 tag plus a P tag. This means these are siblings. And then I also have 2 inputs.
That's so cool.
It's awesome.
I wish we had learned
You didn't show you this stuff?
Yeah, man. That's not big on shortcuts.
That's okay, that's okay. Alright, let's do this. So when we hit tab,
That's cool.
isn't that nice? So we've got these 2 forms. Alright. Cool. So our action, the assignment actually tells us where it wants these things to go, right? So we want it to go process underscore money. And then the method is going to be post in this case. Alright, so the first one was farm, I believe. Oops. What were the amounts on this?
Earns 10 to 20 coins.
Very nice. Earns. Yeah, let's just be true to the assignment, right?
How is that a form?
10 to 20
How is
golds.
that a form? It's just like a box.
Because it's taking information.
What do you mean it's just a box? I'm confused what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean in terms of the picture that was given to you guys for the assignment?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, remember that a form element is what kind of element in HTML? So we have these different display properties, right? We've got a block, we've got display inline block, and then we've got a display of inline. So what kind of display property does a form have normal, unless we reassign it? It has a block property, right? A block display property. So when it's a block element, I can easily give it a border of some sort, or I can give it some padding or whatever. I can make it look pretty much just like it looks in that picture.
Make it look like a box.
Yeah. So rather than, you might have been thinking to yourself, okay, well, why don't I just wrap the whole form in a div or something like that? That's what you were thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it's kind of like, okay, but I'm just putting one thing inside the div, so can't we just style the form the way that we want? So the
I wanted to
idea
add some background color on mine, that's why I did it.
you made background color on the form.
No, it's like the behind the boxes. I put a wrapper so I can put background color.
Ah, okay, no, that's a good point though. We are probably going to wrap all of the forms.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because if we want it to span across the page like it does in the picture, we're going to need to have some sort of a wrapper, right?
Yeah.
All right, good.
So then, when you created the box in the style sheet, you set the form. You gave the form. Can you go back to the style sheet, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Hang on 1 second. Change that to a button. Okay, so back in the style sheet. Here we are. So I haven't done anything with the
You have
forms
the
yet.
class in gold, and then where's the gold class?
That's the only class that I have right now.
So that was when you created the box,
Yeah.
right?
The box at the very top saying your goal.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay, so I haven't done anything yet with the forms themselves.
Cool.
All right, so let's let's keep going here with these forms. So we've got an input type of text. I want to change that to hidden. Okay, because this is something that I don't want to appear on my page. However, I do want it to be something that I can reference in my backend when the form gets submitted. All right, so the name of this is going to be building, and the value is going to be the actual building that we have. So let's say farm. Okay, and then my button, I think, just says find gold or something. Yeah, find gold. Okay, so find gold. There we go. Let's come down here and do the other one too. So it's still going to go to the same place. We're still going to send it to process money. Method, still post. And then down here, we're going to say this was the casino. And then the message, I believe, was earns/takes 50 golds. I really want to underline that S somehow. All right. So again, we're going to have this hidden input. And type is hidden. Name is going to be building again. And then the value here is going to be casino. Okay, and then I just want a submit button. Button, find gold. I almost want to put an S in there too. Find gold, right? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so right now our forms are stacking vertically. Not exactly how it showed in the picture, right? So how can we fix that?
Wrap them or change them to inline blocks.
Yeah, we could wrap them. There are a couple different ways to do it. We could do it as inline block or flex blocks. Ooh, I like your thinking. Very good. Let's do that. So let's wrap these guys up. I'm going to kind of close that out. And then in VS Code, here's another little nugget for you guys. I can wrap with abbreviation.
Wait, what?
I don't know if that registered a lot. Wait, what just happened? So I just wrapped that both of these form elements with one div tag.
So you highlighted both forms.
Let's go through it one more time, yeah, because I think that this is a very handy.
Slow-mo instant replay.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this again.
Because this is the little stuff that takes a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
time.
the little things that are kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
So I've got everything highlighted that I want to be wrapped, right? And then what I can do is I can press Command, Shift, and P, which will open up my little, I don't know what they even call this thing.
Do you have to import that at all?
It's the Explorer.
That's what it says.
Okay. So this is the, no, I don't have to import
Oh, you
anything.
I
don't.
think Explorer has to do with the left.
So because Emmet should be enabled by default for you guys, that's what we were using for that autocomplete,
Okay.
you know, when I was creating
It's
the
not
groups
like
and
an
such.
extra feature you have to install, like spell check.
No, you should have it automatically. Yeah. So then I'm just going to select, make sure that you hit enter on wrap with abbreviation, and then after you hit enter, just type it in, and you'll see it's coming in right there. And then you have to press enter in to confirm, and there you go. It's all wrapped. So I don't need to sort of waste time indenting things or doing anything like that. It's like, boom, it's already done for me. Makes it way easier, right? Okay, so let's do some, let's create a class for this. And I want to say class is forms wrapper. And then in my style sheet, let's say forms wrapper. So I want this to be display flex. Okay? And then I'm going to use this property called justify content, which means how do I want the items that are inside my flex, my flexed element, how do I want them to react horizontally?
Space between or something.
Like some.
Yeah, I'm going to use space between because that will actually create, the type of look that we're looking for. Space between. Okay, let's see what that looks like here. So if I refresh, hard refresh, okay. Well, we got something. Maybe I'll shrink the width of that container a little bit so that we're not actually going all the way to the edge of the screen.
Could you do justify content center?
Yeah, we could do that. You want it to look that way?
Well, just.
But also put padding on the wrapper to suck everything in a little more.
Yeah, the thing is, if we center it, I think that would... Yeah, that might look alright, actually. Let's try that. Hard refresh. Whoa. Okay, so now all we need to do is maybe just give
A little more. margin.
a margin right so that they're not so tight together, and then we'll give them
It
borders.
works better with 4.
Oh, with 4, yeah, that's
It's
true.
like more evenly spaced.
That's absolutely true. Yeah. Okay, so here, if I go, I could also target the forms that are inside the wrapper by going like this. And what if I wanted to only affect the first child? So I only wanted to affect the one on the left. I want to give it some right margin, but I don't want to give margin right to the right one.
That's ideal.
You guys know how I could do that? No, that's the idea.
It would
I'm gonna
work.
be kind of crafty here.
Form.
Let's say form first child.
What?
Woo! What's going on
We're learning
here?
so much.
Man!
Are we learning
I've got to where
CSS?
I ID everything. I ID P tags, I ID everything in my whole thing.
Everything's all IDs. So IDs could become important for some JavaScript stuff that we do. But in terms of just styling, I could do it this way. So I'm selecting the forms wrapper, right? And then inside that, I'm selecting all forms. But then I'm also restricting that to just the first child of its container. Okay? So let's give that one some margin right. 25 pixels. All right, let's go back. I got a hard refresh like every time.
I had to do that too.
Yeah, let me hop in. So here, I think you may be able to. Where is that thing? Network. So I think. See, I've got disable cache checked though. I don't know why it's still caching things for me.
Maybe it's a Chrome.
Maybe. All right. So the only other thing is maybe on a form, we just want to give it like a border and then a little bit of padding, something like that, right? And then we'll be good to go with the styling. So the form will just say border, 1 pic solid black, padding. Let's go with 30 pixels. Save it, go back. All right. How's that look to you guys?
Couldn't be better.
Stellar.
Stellar.
So, all right, good. So let's make sure our HTML is right. We've got this input type of hidden with the building. And then here I think I wanted to... Actually, why is this capitalized? All right, let's make this lowercase. Cool. So you've got the building type, and then we've got a submit button. Is there anything else we need for this? I think this portion is probably okay, right? We need to just now go back to the server and actually be able to handle some type of form submission.
Give this thing a brain.
Yeah, I like that. Give it a brain. All right, so what's the new route we need to create?
Process money.
Process money. All right, and then what else do I need to add to this route?
Methods.
Yeah, I need to add methods in order to be able to handle the method that I specified on the front. So I need to say, okay, this is going to take post requests. All right, now I'm going to give it a process money function to handle that. Okay, what are we going to do inside process money? So we're getting some kind of a form submission, right? Where can I have access to that, or where can I get access to the information that came through the form?
Request form.
In request.form, correct. Bingo. All right, so before I even do this, I'm going to establish something over here on the index route. And we'll come back to what we were doing with process money. So let's say this is the very first time I visited Ninja Gold. I haven't played this game before. What might I want to establish for my new visitor who is new to my game?
Make a session.
A session, right? Very good. So far, this person doesn't have any gold stored up, and they don't have any activity, because you guys saw there's going to be kind of an activity log in there. So I want to create those things for him if he's a first-time visitor. So how can we do that? Anyone who's done the assignment probably knows the answer.
Probably say if the goal's not in session,
Okay.
set it all equal to 0.
So if gold not in session,
And gold of session equals 0.
yes, we'll say gold, oops, not gold at session, it'd be session at gold, right? Equals 0.
Slightly dyslexic.
And then what's the other thing we're probably going to set here? So again, this is a first-time player.
Render your template.
The activity, right? So we're not rendering a template yet because we're already
Oh,
doing that
okay.
down here, right? Okay. So let's just set an empty activity log. What structure do you think would make the most sense for the activity log? Hmm? A list. Yeah, very good. Okay, so let's just say session at activities equals an empty list. Okay, so that's good to go. What did we, notice how I'm getting a red squiggly here. Do you guys know why?
It's done this to me over and over and over again yesterday.
Like you were getting this right now?
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah, so the reason why is because we haven't done anything inside this process money function. So if you want to just have sort of a placeholder that you're going to come back to, you could just type in pass, and notice the red squiggly goes away.
saved me a ton of time. It's like I kept
Yeah.
going back thinking I indented something wrong or less
Yeah.
than half.
And then you're sitting there looking, where's the error?
Yeah.
But
I
that-
have
that's what it
two
is.
app.routes. So one is for
One's where the backslash local host is the regular page, and then the other one is for when it's processed. It's got to, like, if you were to type in localhost backslash process money, then you go there. The route, just the URL. It's basically just explaining. Like if you put another one and put add.route backslash, Donkey Kong, it could be another page. It's just different pages within the localhost.
okay, that made no sense.
That route is like.
Well, that's a little harsh. All right, but let's talk about it. If it didn't make sense, let's talk about it a little bit more, okay? So we have two different routes
Thank you.
in the
I'm
application.
just like, I would like to hear things more than once.
Yeah,
So that was the first round.
First round. This is the second round.
Sorry.
So we have two different places that we can, quote, go in this application. We've got our main index page, which is just what we're seeing with the forms on it.
Okay.
Okay. The other place that we can go is we can make a post request to the process money route. Now, is the process money route actually going to render anything to the screen? Am I going to see anything when I hit make a post request to process money?
Not right
No, not ever. Because when we process that money, where are we going to send the visitor?
now. I don't know.
You don't know? Well, we really only have one page that has visible things on it, and that's the index route.
Okay, so the ones with the sessions, the one with the sessions are the ones that's actually visible, and that's
Yes.
just the one with the empty route.
This right now, this index route is the only page where we're actually showing something, where we're rendering something. Okay. The other route is only going to be used for processing the form that we're submitting every time we click one of those buttons.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Good.
Okay. Thank you, both of you.
No problem. So there's one thing that we need to do to be able to use session. Do you guys remember what that is? Because I almost forgot to do it myself. Yeah, we need to add a secret key to the app. So let's say app.secretKey equals, oh, very secret. All right, good. So we've got our secret key, so, and we're pretty much all set to go because we've got these things set in session. Now that I have this here, what can I do with my template? So remember I hard-coded a 0 there inside the your gold?
Session or double mustache.
Yeah, well, before I even do that, though, how is my template going to have access to it?
Passive.
I need to pass it in when I render the template. Okay. So I'm just going to add another argument here. We'll say gold equals session at gold. Okay. What's this part doing, Linda? What am I doing here? So I want to make sure that this part makes sense.
I understand the index.html, and then I'm not sure about that part.
So this is before we've even, we've done some work with index.html, but before I even go back and make a change to it, what am I doing here when I say gold equals session at gold?
You're just setting variable gold to session gold.
To equal that. Yeah, and what I'm doing is I'm giving this information to the template that I'm rendering. So this template right here is now going to have access to a variable called gold.
Okay.
So why do I want to do that? What's the point of that? Because if I leave in my template just a 0, is that person ever going to have a changing score here? Or a changing amount of gold? No, it'll just be hard-coded at 0, and they're going to play the game and say, I'm clicking these buttons, but nothing's happening. My gold's not changing. We want that to be dynamic based on wherever they are in their game. Okay? So now that we've passed it along to the template, how do I show it in the template? Double mustache, right? So now I can just plug in gold, and I shouldn't have to hard code anything anymore. So if I refresh this, our server went down. Oh, because of that indentation error. Okay.
More like, is
Yeah.
it possible? So when I did mine, I didn't do that second step of calling it in the where we said return render template, and we had our HTML, and then you had gold equals session gold.
Mhm.
So then when I wanted it to show up, I just put it.
Oh, you put it directly in the template as session gold?
Yeah,
Yeah, you could do that as well.
that's okay too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like taking you guys through the process of how do we get things to
Okay.
the template.
I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't like. the
Yeah,
absolute
and that could
way.
work as well. Let's try that real quick.
It's a less cool way to do it.
Well, in a way, it's sort of less code. So if I just take this out here, yeah, dun, 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 and then I come into the template, slightly less code. They're pretty close. But I should have access to my session directly in the template if I want to do it that way. All right, and nothing breaks, so that
Okay.
still works.
I just want to make sure that. It's
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. So so we're in pretty good shape. Let's go back to the server here. We still need to process this form, right? Okay. So what I'm going to process it on is based on what building we came across, right? And there's another function, or actually another thing that I need to bring in to be able to create me a random integer. So you guys know what that is?
Or random.
Okay, so I'm going to say from random import randint. Okay, and that will give me this randint function where I could specify a start point and an end point, and I should be able to get a nice random number out of that. Okay, so we're going to create basically some if conditions here. And before I do that even, I'm just going to say my form equals request.form. Not strictly necessary, but I like doing it so I don't have to keep referencing request.form and then whatever.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, kind of cool.
It's like a little top.
Yeah, a little bit of typing. So if form at building equals fram, then I'm gonna create this little variable. Actually, no, we're gonna do it Ryan's way because I liked his way better. Let's just directly add the gold to the session gold. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say.
I will say the plan sounds good. I did encounter a hiccup on mine, and
Did you?
yeah, I got stuck here.
I think the reason why this may have issues is because we need to reassign it at the end of the whole process.
And I was
So let,
also having trouble like at the very end when I'm like just playing my activities, like showing, because it's hard to distinguish. Like I want to be able to say, you won
Oh,
8 gold.
okay.
Now your total gold is
right.
85, and it's really hard to do that.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to the other way of doing it. Notice how our rand int is asking for 2 arguments, a and b, and it's including both endpoints. So that's perfect for us. I think ours was 0 to 20, 10 to 20. Sorry. Okay. Cool. So let's say 10 to 20. Okay. And then I'm going to have another one. So in this case, we're only doing 2 buildings. So I'm just going to say else, because if it's not a farm, what does it have to be?
A casino.
Casino. Yeah, exactly. So say else new gold equals a rand int. And this time it's going to be from -50 all the way to 50. Okay. Now, the other thing that we want to do down here is we need to reassign, or we basically need to add to our current session gold this new gold that we have here, right? So let's say session at gold equals, actually, let's do plus equals new gold. So that should add it and then reassign it, right? And then what do we want to do after we process this? We want to redirect. So we'll return a redirect back to the index route. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to print some things up here so that we know what's happening. So I'm going to print form building, and then I'm going to print also new gold. And then let's also print session gold. Okay, so let's hit some of these guys and see what happens. Come back over here. Go to the farm. Oh, our gold's changing. That's nice. Let's see what happened on our terminal. Okay, so it's saying farm. Not sure how well you guys can see this. Farm 1616. Okay. So the new gold that we got was 16, and then my total is 16. If I hit things a few more times, let's go to the casino because we're feeling lucky. Ooh, I lost something there. All right, so now we're getting, you see here where we actually lost some money. We lost 10, and that brought us down to 42. So every time I'm getting my gold is changing exactly as I want it to do. Okay? Does anyone have any questions on this part so far? With where we're at? All good? Okay. So what's the other thing that we need to incorporate here? So if we look back at the assignment here, we haven't touched this yet, right? We created this empty list of activities, but we haven't actually put anything in it. All right? Let's put some stuff in there. So each time we hit a building, we want to also add something to the activity log. So what do you guys think we're going to add to that? A string? Yeah, that's one way of doing it. I like doing it as a dictionary. And the reason why is because it keeps all of my data sort of discrete the way that I like it. So I'm going to say we visited this building. This is how much we earned or lost. And then the third thing is just going to be the timestamp, when it happened, right? Because if you look at the assignment here, that's included there as well, the timestamp portion. Okay. So each time we hit a building, let's just add some stuff to this, to the session at activities. I think it's activities, not activity. Yeah. Okay, so let's say session at activities So I have a couple ways I can do it. I can use append, which puts something at the end of my list. There's also another method that we can use called insert, which would actually insert it at the front of my list. Okay? And the reason why I'm going to use insert is because in the assignment there, you guys will probably notice, I don't know if that was a bonus, but it's like you have the most recent activity shown first. Is that one of the bonuses? Oh yeah, it's a sensei bonus. The most recent activity first. I'm going to give you guys one sensei bonus. So this is one way that we can do it. Can you think of maybe another way we could also potentially do it? Like if we just append to the list and then we're trying to display them in descending order, how could we go about doing that? In the template, could we iterate through them backwards? That's another possibility, right? So let's just do that. Let's do it the other way. We'll just iterate through them backwards, and then we'll append to the list every time we have new activities. So we'll keep it easy for ourselves. So I'm going to append this dictionary, and then we're going to say the building is form at building. Okay. We'll say the amount is new gold. And then finally we'll say timestamp. You guys know how we're going to get the timestamp? I believe from date time we can also import date time. Okay. And then that will give us access to this method called now. So I should be able to say datetime.now to give me the current timestamp. Okay, and then I'm just going to copy this guy here because I don't want to redo it. Down here, and then this time I'm going to change it to casino. Alright. Do you guys see where we can maybe make this a little bit cleaner? Oops. Like what could potentially be fixed about this? Because we're doing this here and then we're doing it there. Could I potentially do it in one place?
Kind of like the organization is put it up.
Oh, you like it like that? Well, I just mean in terms of this, so I'm adding something to the session
I see what you're
activities
saying.
every time.
I see what you're saying.
Could I potentially just add in one place in my code rather than doing it twice like that?
Yep.
What's the only thing that's different between these two blocks?
Is the building and the casino.
Well, actually, that's wrong. I messed that up. Actually, these would be exactly the same, right? You guys didn't catch me. But we're doing the exact same thing because form build at building is going to give us the building right there, and this would be the same even if we got inside the casino, right? So let's just get rid of that because we don't want to duplicate it. And I'm going to bring it down to the bottom because we're going to do this no matter what. I'll bring that back. Let's take this out. Okay, so that way, no matter what building I hit, I'm just going to add the new gold in there to my activities list. I'm going to say what the building was in my activities list. I'm also going to put whatever the date time is. All right?
I'm a little confused on that.
Okay.
Because it says the building goal is farm. At farm, you can't lose 50 or gain 50. So how would your program be able to distinguish between farm and casino if you don't know that?
Well, if I didn't get inside farm, what's the only other building in my app right now?
Yeah.
Casino. So it's either one or the other. For you guys, it would be more, it would be all 4, but we're doing kind of like a shortened version. All right? So that's going to push to our activities list. Now what we want to do is actually display this on the page, right? So let's go back to our page here. We'll create an activities div down here. So we'll say div. I'll give this an ID, maybe, just for fun. And then inside my activities, all I want to do is just basically print them one by one, right? Okay, so how do we do that in Jinja 2?
Or percent.
Percent sign, right? And we're going to say something like 4. You know what? We said we were going to go backwards, right? So how do we go backwards? For I in range. So what's going to be the start of the range? So it's going to be the length of, you know what, before we do that, let's just pass the activities in here. I want to make this a little bit cleaner rather than having to reference it in the template as session and activities. Let's just say here, when we're rendering the template, let's pass in activities, oops, darn it, equals session and activities. Let's go back to the template here. And then we're going to say, based on the length of the activities, and then we want to subtract 1 from that, right, to actually get the very last index. And then the end of my range is going to be, what, -1? Yeah, because the endpoint is not inclusive. And then what's the third argument that I'm going to pass? Because remember, we're going backwards, right? Since we're going backwards, this -1 means that I'm sort of backwards increment or decrementing. So yeah, we're decrementing. Okay, and then here, let's close that off. How do I end it down here? N4. Okay, and then for each one of those guys, let's just create a P tag. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to output something. How do I do that again? Double mustache. Let me see what they said we were supposed to say. So something like, oh gosh, I went too far. Okay, so earned whatever or entered. So let's just create sort of an if-then. So we either earned or we lost. So I'm just going to say if activities at I, and then what's the other key that I'm interested in?
The name of the session.
I think it was a mount, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so mount is,
Positive.
yeah, let's say greater than or equal to 0. Okay. I mean, it's going to be kind of silly to put it in green if we didn't earn anything, but whatever. We'll just say that, right? So as long as it's not negative, we'll keep it in green. So then we could just have a little else here, and then it will be in red. And if, we're all good. Okay, so if it's in green, what we want to say is earned, and then we want to reference the amount, right? Activities at I, at amount, just like we had there. And then we also have to specify where. So let's do the same thing. So we'll say activities. I keep spelling that wrong. And then that would be the building.
Did we set the amount variable?
Let's look. Yeah, right in here, line 20. Yeah. Okay, so then the other thing that we need is the timestamp. I was just looking at how they have it, so we just put that in parentheses. I'm going to put an exclamation point here. And then in parentheses again, we'll do activities at I at timestamp. Okay, so let's see if that works for now. We'll just earn some money. We won't go to the casino just to test it. So if I go farm,
Oh, is it because we need an activity?
len is undefined. Oh, I guess I can't do this in the template. Well, that sucks. All right. We're just going to iterate through it forward in a forward fashion. But what you guys could do, if you really wanted to handle the sort of backwards to forwards thing, you could create a new list in your back end by iterating it through it in reverse, and then you could pass that new list to your front end. It's kind of a lot of extra work, or you could insert into the front of your list every time, like we were talking about earlier. So if you guys want to do that, you're going to want to look up the insert method for lists. That's how you could put them in the front of the list. All right, so instead of doing this, I'm going to change this to make it super simple. How can I iterate through them and get the activity itself? Like this, right? I can just say for activity in activities. And then wherever I have activities at I in here, I'm just going to change that to activity. Okay, let's go back to this and refresh it. Oh, activity at timestamp. Did I not call it that? Timestamp datetime.now. Why is it saying that? Activity at timestamp. I feel like I misspelled something or something. Did I?
Do you need to have a comma after?
Oh, maybe I didn't output it correctly. Hold on one second. Oh, yeah. See, I didn't actually put it in mustache tags. Whoa. All right. Let's try that again. Okay. So if I keep clicking this, you see our activity log's getting longer, and we got more and more stuff happening. If I wanted to class that out, obviously I could come over here and say earned color green. And then here in my index.html, we'll just say the class for this p tag is earned. Okay. So if we didn't earn, if we lost, we'll say class equals lost. And then what's the message on that? Uh-oh or something like that? Oh, ouch. Entered a casino and lost something gold. Okay, so entered. So why can I say casino right here rather than referencing activity of building?
Because it's the only other one.
It's the only opportunity for me to actually lose money. So that's the only way that this could have happened. Lost, and then we'll say, I'm going to make one small change here. So rather than the activity at amount, I'm going to change it to negative activity at amount. Why am I doing that? Yeah, because right now it's a negative number, but I don't want it to say you lost negative 50. I want it to say you lost 50. Okay, and lost that, and then I think it was something like ... ouch. Whoa. And then again, we have the same timestamp as before. So activity. People are running for the door all of a sudden. Sorry, guys.
Just have to stand up without tag.
Yeah, now I hear you. We're almost done. This is basically it. So lost, the color is just going to be red. All right, let's hit the page one more time. Go to the casino a couple times. All right, so let's go casino, casino. Oh, why am I? Okay. Oh, I forgot to put golds. Man, I gotta have earned golds.
So weird.
All right, and then lost golds. All right, yeah, let's come back here, refresh that. Yay for grammar. All right, golds. All right, any questions about what we covered today? Does this pretty much make sense for you guys in general?
Definitely helps compare to like
Yeah.
what I was doing. So
Okay.
It's also interesting to see the different ways that you can go about doing
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of times these problems have sort of different ways of handling them. Cool. You guys are dismissed.
it. Thank you.